Cool, guys. Hey, happy Thursday, December 10th. I always have to look at what the date is, right? So happy Thursday, December 10th. I'm Dr. Jason Bradley, the founder of Epic Functional Medicine and the developer of the Epic 5 plan that we have used to transform the lives of thousands of people from all around the world, especially those with autoimmunity and really especially those with thyroid autoimmunities and thyroid disorders. So I'm jumping in today to give a little clarity to our group here. And boy, welcome so many new members. Usually I'm on a little bit more and a little bit more present in this group, but just for full disclosure and just a little personal moment, I've had a heck of some family health issues lately, and I'm going to share those with you. And then right after that, I'm going to share with you guys the Epic 5 plan diet. A lot of you guys, I've noticed you guys struggling a little bit, and I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, and then give you an update of how we're all going to be on the same page very, very quickly. And I guess while I'm at it, I'll just share with you an offer that we just made to our private clients that you guys might as well take advantage of as well. So all that said, let me just start rambling. First of all, personally, I want to thank you guys for your love and your support. I love that you're inviting people to this group. The growth has been just amazing. We have almost doubled in size in about 2 weeks, and that's the goal that I would like. We actually slowed it down a little bit just because our influx has been so massive that we just didn't know how to quite organize it, but we got it back now. So we're ready to roll forward again. My goal was to hit 1,000 people by the end of the year when we started the group. And, we're well over 1,200, 1,300 members at this point. And my goal for 2021 is to grow it to at least 10,000. But my ultimate goal is to hit 50,000 members for lots of reasons. In fact, I'd love to hit 100,000 members, but I'll take 10,000 next year, and then 2022 we'll 10x it again. The reason is, guys, is because I've been out in those groups. I've been out in these support groups, and they're horrible. You guys know that. It's just misinformation. It's people acting like they know stuff because they act like they're doctors or clinicians. And they're like, well, this works. And I read this. And that is just not a good way to have a support group. I know we want to share information. I know that. But the reality is what works for one person may not work for the other person. And then there is no magic bullet. That's why when, you start to hear things like, what do you do for energy? I'm so tired. And someone's like, man, I did B12 injections and they worked great. And someone else said, I spent thousands of dollars in B12 injections. They didn't do anything. Guess what? Maybe person number one was deficient in B12 and person number two wasn't, right? So we really can't know what's going to work as far as those types of questions without doing blood work, without doing the right laboratory work. And that's just the reality of the situation. I've also had seen a lot in these other groups of what diet works. And there are some similarities of some diets that work, especially for Hashimoto's, other autoimmunities, thyroid, et cetera. But also there is no canned diet. But I do want to talk about the Epic 5 plan diet basics. I'm going to go over those today, right after I share this personal message. So it's been a struggle at the Bradley household. I'll be, again, full disclosure. My father, who is a terminal cancer survivor, he had terminal brain cancer. We're going on 8 years now of no cancer. He should not be with us for the last 8 years. He did have surgery, brain surgery. We implemented every functional medicine, alternative medicine, genetic medicine, integrated medicine protocol that you could imagine. And he's doing well. He's doing so well, in fact, that, the guy's almost 90, by the way. He has degeneration of his knees. He was an athlete and he wore out his knees. So he elected post-brain cancer surviving, right? Terminal brain cancer surviving, to have knee surgery. And while we were prepping for the knee surgery, he also had a TIA, a little stroke, followed by 2 or 3 regular strokes. Despite all that, he recovered immediately. The guy is like, I can't even explain this guy's constitution. No residual effects whatsoever from having a chunk of his brain cut out, to having cancer eliminated, to having some strokes. He's doing great. And he elected to have knee surgery and have knee, not replacement, but knee surgery. Kind of a, I don't know, an arthroscopic surgery. I don't know how else to say that, right? But nonetheless, he still had to go to rehab, orthopedic rehab. And he, because of COVID, was placed out in the middle of nowhere. And because that was the only rehab hospital that had any beds open. And he's going to be there for a while. He'll be there 3 weeks tomorrow. He got transferred there 3 weeks tomorrow. Tuesday, a couple days ago, was his surgery 3 weeks ago. So we're going on like 3.5 weeks of surgery. And they're talking about that he'll be at the rehab facility probably for another 3 to 4 to 5 weeks. So in the middle of all of that, my mother, who's also almost 90, and she forgets that, and she thinks that she's 20, goes out and does things like chopping wood and, I don't even know what, hanging clothes on the clotheslines and, cleaning her house and taking care of their dogs. And like I said, she thinks she's in her 20s or 30s. And well, and not to mention helping my dad out as much as he could. His knees, he had a hard time even walking there before the surgery. He's up and walking now. He's doing great, but still rehab. My mom decided that she needed to go to the ER a few times because of pain. Now I want to be clear. My mother is a farm girl, and pain, she didn't even know what pain is. So for her to even say that she had pain tells me that she was in excruciating pain. And, I know her doctor down there where she lives, and her doctor's a Russian doctor and thinks the way that I do, meaning that, drugs are a last resort, and gave my mom some ideas of things to do. My mom ended up having, a couple of injections and, some anti-inflammatories, and she, got her out of immediate pain. But we decided it was going to be better for her to come up here and stay with us. So my mom moved in with Rachel and I and the kids until my dad's out of the hospital. And the cool thing is I'm taking her to see my chiropractic doctor, who is an orthopedic and neurological wizard, not to mention a wizard of chiropractor too. But his name is Dr. Dylan Hammis. He's at Total Health Chiropractic here in the Iowa City, Coralville area, right on Brown Deer Golf Course. He has a beautiful clinic. I love Dylan. He's a beautiful person. He's an amazing doctor. And I'm trusting my mother into his hands. We spent an hour with him yesterday. He did x-rays. She already had x-rays from laying down, but he wanted them standing. He did a thermal scan of her back, a neurological scan, and then a postural analysis, all with computerized technology. And I've already seen the reports because I was there when he was doing it, and I was watching it in real time. So I already know what it's going to say today. And he and I chatted about it, but I love this man, and I know he's going to take good care of my mom. So my dad's doing rehab for his knee. My mom's going to do rehab for her neck, her shoulders, her back. And then we're going to take good care of her here. And you know what? It's kind of nice having mom around because she's kind of taking care of us too. She's been sewing things and fixing zippers and all sorts of things that moms know how to do that I don't know how to do. And God bless Rachel. She didn't know how to do it either. And by the way, if you guys are wondering who Rachel is my far, far, far better half, and the brains and the beauty of all of the operations. I really mean that. Those of you that interact with her know she's the sweetest human being on the planet. And while I'm talking about that, I will remind us all that next week, 1 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday, Rachel and I will be on right here in Facebook Live streaming in this group. And then I'll also drop a Zoom link for you guys that want to join us on Zoom and have an interaction, like we can talk or we can chat a little bit more. I'll drop that link as well. But we're going to be talking, this is Rachel's deal. I'm just going to be on there with her, kind of asking her questions. Rachel's an expert in stress management. And also, I will say women's health and hormones, but where her passion is reducing pressure and noise, helping folks, reduce their stress so that they can, live to their fullest potential, be the brightest lights on this planet. And she just is such a lovely and wonderful person. And she's going to share how the Epic 5 plan can help us reduce our stress through the holidays. I did a little outline of that last time I was on a video with you guys. I don't remember when that was. I think it was last week, but I'm just kind of setting the stage for that. But Rachel's going to take it to a very deep level, and I hope that you guys can make it. And again, we'll be streaming it on Facebook Live. This is my Facebook Live stream right here. We'll be streaming it on Facebook Live, so you'll be able to catch it there. But if you want to interact with us, by all means, please jump onto the Zoom, and I'll make sure that you guys have access to that. So that's pretty fun. And I think it's going to be a fun event. And again, we do these events usually the second week of every month. We had to move this one to the third week of this month because of all the stuff that I talked about. Transfer my dad to hospital, my mom up here, strokes and TIAs, my mom in and out of the ER. We just had to move it to next week. So we're all settled now. And we're ready to move forward. My mom's doing great up here, staying with us. So thank you guys for letting me take that 2-minute or 10-minute personal message and share that with you. And thank you again for your love and support. And you know what? And also for bringing your friends to this group, guys, because this group, what I want, unlike the other groups, I want you to have real information based on real science with real solutions and real answers. We are not going to allow politics. We're not going to allow MLMs and products to be sold. Guys, health does not come in the form of any pill, powder, or potion or lotion. It doesn't. That's a lie. Anybody saying that it does, guys, health comes from the inside. There are things that we can utilize, different medication, supplementation, et cetera, to speed it along. But ultimately, health comes from implementing the EPIC 5. I have enough data over the last 20 years to tell us that when we hydrate, when we eat the right foods, move every day, practice stress management every day, and have a good sleep pattern, when we focus on those 5 things, those 5 basic things, health gets better. Doesn't matter what your health is, health gets better. Might not fully get better, but it gets better, usually to a livable amount. Where functional medicine and personalized care comes in is we take it to the next level. We start looking at genetics. We start looking at internal medicine and metabolism and hormones, nutrient availability, digestion, absorption, function, neurology, and neurotransmitters. I mean, we can do deep dives into just about every single system of the body that we want, and we can figure out basically what bad stuff is in the body and get it out, and what good stuff is missing from the body and put it in. When we couple that with the EPIC 5, guys, it is a slam dunk victory. And I don't need to tell you that. You can read my patient testimonials and they will just underscore what I'm saying. What I've noticed in this group, though, is that there is some confusion about diet. And God knows I'm not surprised, because there's so much bad information out there that I'm shocked that any of us know what to eat, right? So I'm going to break it down very, very simply and just remind you guys of the simplicity of this diet. And that's what's great. This diet works for AIP. This diet can be altered for FODMAPs, keto, paleo. And if you go to the shop, I believe in the files section of this group, I'm not really I'm a heavy Facebook content creator, but I don't use Facebook. So I don't know where the files are. I guess I could look. I have the group open. Up here at the top. Yeah, up here at the top, if you look at files, there is the EPIC 5 shopping list revised is what it's called. And then how do you implement it? Well, here's days 1. There's another PDF that says days 1 to 7, and another one that says days 8 through 14. So there's a number of files that are in there. Whoops, back to the discussion. Here we are. Perfect, guys. So coming back to that discussion, go to those files. The shopping list for the diet is there. Now, the shopping list is interesting. You'll notice that, and I'm just going to break it down. It is vegetables, proteins, fats, berries, and maybe some other fruits, but mostly berries, fermented foods, fiber, and water. I might be missing something, but I think that those are the main ones, right? Things to drink, I guess. It's mostly water. Shoot, let me go back here. There we are. Too many screens open. Oh, good. And I am recording. I had a little heart murmur there, thinking I hadn't hit record. And I was like, do I have to start that whole thing over? I would have felt so bad for all of you guys watching. But anyway, go download that. But you'll notice that we have them categorized into different sections. And we have asterisks next to certain things that say, hey, if you don't know if you're sensitive to this food, you need to avoid it until you get a food sensitivity test done, right? And you'll notice some of those pieces, like eggs are on that list. We as an example, we would say eggs could be a really good protein and or a really good fat, right? Either the whites or the yolks, right? But we don't know if you're sensitive to it. And a lot of people are sensitive to eggs. So we always say, don't have eggs unless you know you are not sensitive to that. How would you know? A blood test. It's the only way to know. So make sure you pay attention when you're looking at the shopping list. Actually, maybe I should just pull up the shopping list and look at it with you guys. I'm working from memory, but I think this will help. There we are. And I'm just going to pull this up real fast. There it is. So again, as an example, under healthy fats, it has butter and ghee, with an asterisk. And it says, hey, you know what? Many people react poorly to these foods. So unless you've had a blood test done, stay away from it. And even if you have had a blood test done and you are fine with it, let's limit it to, it says 1 to 2 times per week, right? So again, we're trying to help you guys limit the highly allergic, highly sensitive foods, right? You'll also notice that there's no grains, none. It's not just gluten-free, guys, it's grain-free. The Epic 5 plan is grain-free. It is gluten-free. Are we okay streaming? Good. But it's grain-free. That means no corn, right? That means no amaranth. It means no millet, buckwheat, any of this stuff, any of these gluten-free, rice flours, etc. Nope, no grains, guys. And this is because we are lectin-free as well. If you want more on lectins are plant. Gluten is a type of lectin. Lectins are plant poisons. And our good friend, Dr. Stephen Gundry, MD, wrote a great book called The Plant Paradox. I plan on having Dr. Gundry on my podcast in 2021. And he'll cover that a little bit more, but I love The Plant Paradox. It's a great read. Our diets are similar. His diet that he recommends and mine, I think mine's better because we're taking into account a lot more for autoimmune folks. We get, this diet is part of how we get positive autoimmunities to go negative. So again, if you don't know, avoid it. Just avoid it. If it has an asterisk next to it, avoid it. If you want to get the foods test done, get a hold of us and we'll walk you through what you need to do. Just private message us. So again, we have vegetables, healthy fats, lean proteins, berries, and acids. I knew I was missing something because we need acids to digest our foods like lemon juice, lime juice, apple cider vinegar, et cetera, right? So again, the diet is really straightforward. It's, vegetables, it's mostly green vegetables, right? Healthy fats are going to be animal products. We have some vegan sources of nuts. Not all nuts are okay. A lot of nuts have lectins again. Legumes, people are always like, what about beans? I heard beans are good for me. They're really not, guys. Legumes, including peanuts, cashews, et cetera, are really not good choices. They're high in lectins. And again, we've tried to work around it by pressure cooking and looking at lectin content of foods that are pressure cooked, and it's lower. But again, for our autoimmune clients, it's just a bad idea. So again, I've seen a lot of, I don't know how to call it, but chitter chatter on the group about, I follow this diet, and it sort of works. And then I saw a really weird post on the group that said, I'm going to follow the Epic 5 diet, but I'm also going to avoid dairy, gluten, nightshades, eggs, and something else. I don't know what it was. And I was thinking, wait a minute. Those foods are already avoided on the Epic 5 diet. Again, it's dairy free, it's grain free, it's lectin free, it's legume free. It's really a lot of nuts and seeds free. There's no fruit on it really, except for berries and pomegranate seeds. It's a really stripped down diet. There's still hundreds of food choices on there, but the reality is that it's in my opinion, the perfect diet for almost everybody. And the way that we personalize it then is to do food allergy and food sensitivity tests, and then we just kind of strip it back from there. So again, that diet as outlined is a really good jumping off point. We have seen antibodies go negative just with people that implement the diet. We've seen weight loss resistance turn around. We have seen brain fog turn around, body aches and pains, because it's also an anti-inflammatory diet, right? Digestion improved because we're adding in fibers and fermented foods that are rich in probiotic bacteria and supportive to digestion. So guys, I want you to know that this diet was not just invented willy-nilly. We spent 20 plus years collecting data, putting it together for you guys. I was the first patient. I had or have Hashimoto's. I either had Hashimoto's or I still have it, but it's in full remission. I just got my blood work done earlier in the week on Monday. I'm still in full remission and have been since 2007. I check my antibodies twice a year still because I'm still hypervigilant. I want to make sure that nothing's crept into my body that has turned on my genes to make those antibodies. I look at my leaky gut at least annually, if not twice a year. I look at a full blood panel of nutrients, hormones, thyroid, adrenal, metabolic pathways, of course, immune system. I'm sure I'm leaving some pieces out, but I think that you guys get the idea. And then I look at my fun topic, stool samples, right? So I want to look at my GI chemistry, my GI function. I want to see what's going on there, my probiotic load, see if there's any, yeasty beasties or other, germs that got in there, bacteria, parasites, funguses, yeast, molds, et cetera. And then we do some advanced testing, anytime there's new genetic tests, we're always running those and taking a look at that stuff. Rachel and I get our labs done very, very regularly. Heavy metal testing. I could go on and on. There's ways to really personalize care. But coming back to the foods, if you haven't had any testing done, first of all, I'd recommend doing it. And again, that's the special offer that Rachel created for our other private members. But I might as well extend it to you guys too, because what's the difference? You might as well take advantage of it. And I'll tell you about it in just a second. But what I'd recommend is if you haven't had labs done, just get that shopping list from the files and just follow it. Like just do that. I'll tell you what we had to eat as an example last night, right? We had, I was going to say grilled meat. We had some grilled chicken. We had Brussels sprouts, and we had this really small amount of purple-headed heirloom broccoli. I don't know why we had like one stalk of it, but I chopped off the florets and added it to the Brussels sprouts. And I put some avocado oil and some pepper and some garlic in there and roasted it in the oven. And then I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, and then we had sweet potatoes. We had two different sweet potatoes. We had purple sweet potatoes and which are weird because they're purple on the outside and then they're yellow on the inside. Not purple potatoes. That's a totally different thing. Purple sweet potatoes is what I'm talking about. Again, kind of an heirloom sweet potato. And then we also had the regular old, orange colored sweet potatoes that some people call yams, but they're really orange sweet potatoes. And I made sweet potato fries. I don't know. I cut them into circles. I'm not a cook. Cut them into circles. Again, some avocado oil, some sea salt, some pepper, some garlic. I think we put parsley on it. My mom put onion powder on it. And we, again, roasted that in the oven. I think the total cook time, from start to finish was maybe 15, 20-ish minutes total. And we were eating dinner. It was awesome. But guys, it's just simple food. To kind of come back to where we were inspired, our very good friend, journalist, Pulitzer Prize winner, Michael Pollan wrote a great book called The Omnivore's Dilemma. I highly recommend it. And what he said there is good food advice. And here's what it is. Eat real food. That's all that's on the Epic 5 plan. There is nothing that's box, can, wrap, packaged, processed, or otherwise manipulated by man. So eat real food, mostly vegetables. And you'll notice, again, that's what we've done. And not too much, right? So it's possible to overeat on healthy food as well. Just to kind of come back to it, people that start eating healthy food, sometimes because their metabolism is shifting, their body is still feeling hungry, their tummy is used to being distended this big, and all of a sudden it's only this big because we're not eating as much. They feel hungry. They're not hungry, but they think they're hungry. So they'll make a choice of like a healthy snack, like a handful of, pistachios, right? So let's just say a handful of pistachios, healthy, right? On plan, popping them in. Guys, a handful of pistachios has about 250 calories, right? So 250 calories, and let's say I'm doing a handful and a half a day. Is that fair? A handful and a half a day. So I'm going to take that times 1.5. And I do that 30 days, every day of the month, right? 30 days of the month. That is an extra 11,250 calories per month, okay? Healthy food. 1 pound of body fat is 3,500 calories. So here I am eating healthy food, right? And all of a sudden 11,000 and change calories, and I gain 3.2 pounds that month. And people come to me and they're like, I don't get it. I'm eating healthy food. I'm not eating my snacks. I'm just doing a handful of pistachios here and there, right? I'm gaining 3 pounds a month. It's because you're overeating. Guys, the reason people gain weight, the reason people can't lose weight is because they're overeating. I know people want to say things. Listen, guys, I weighed 275 pounds. I weighed in this morning at 171, and that's heavy for me. I try to keep it between 165 and 170. So again, I've been having one too many pistachios, if you know what I mean, right? I want you to know that yes, if you have a thyroid problem and it's not corrected, an adrenal problem, a hormonal problem, a metabolic problem, insulin resistance, you're going to have weight loss resistance. It's true. And just that alone, uncorrected, I'll give you 10 or 20 pounds, right? But I will not give you any more than that. Anything more than 10, 20 pounds is a combination of overeating and eating the wrong foods, even eating too much of the right foods, too much of the wrong foods, and a lack of movement. And it's really that simple. But I'll give you 10 or 20 pounds otherwise. And I know that might be offensive. It's hard to hear. For those of you that are new to the group, you're going to learn that I'm very blunt. You're going to learn that I'm very to matter of fact. And it's not out of being mean. Guys, I just want you guys to know the truth. I want you guys to know what you need to be doing to reclaim your health and your happiness, because guys, we're on this planet for a short amount of time, and there's no reason to be suffering and struggling while we're here. None. I promise you that in this group, the Epic 5 Plan community, you have all of the tools that you need to be healthy. And if you don't quite have all of them, you have the team that can get you there. My commitment to every one of you is that if you want to have a private consultation with my nurse enrollment coordinator, there's no charge for it. Just got to ask for it. Tell us that you want it. We'll get you scheduled. Easy peasy. She can walk you through what it looks like to personalize care, to find out what your root causes are. Not just that you have Hashimoto's and a thyroid problem, but why you have Hashimoto's and a thyroid problem. Why you have a hormonal imbalance, why you have a metabolic imbalance. We can get to the root causes by running the right lab work. But we can have a jumping off point of things to do by just following the Epic 5 plan, drinking enough water, eating the right foods and not too much, right? So I gave you the shopping list. I even gave you a 14-day outline, a 2-week outline of what to do right there in the handouts. And again, we do that with our clients 4 times a year. January, so we have a group detox coming up in January. We do it again in April. We do it again in July. We do it again in October. And then usually between the holidays, I'll throw something in. I threatened to do a 3-day water only fast, but it got vetoed. I still may do it. We'll see. My goal by the end of the year is to be just under 165. My goal weight, my ideal weight for my body frame and height is between 155 and 165. So I want to get down below 165 ideally. I've been working down from 275 for many years, and I'm getting there. I'm very close to it. It gets harder and harder the closer I get to it. I'll tell you that, because my body's set point is like, well, this is as low as you can go. But guys, the jumping off point is the Epic 5 plan. If you're struggling with weight loss and you're more than 20 pounds overweight, I love you so much. And I'm telling you this out of tough love. You're eating too much. Even if it's the right foods, you're eating too much of the right foods. And if you say, but I get hypoglycemic if I don't, you can talk to my clients. We have our clients track their blood sugars when they have these hypoglycemic moments. And almost always, I would say 99+% of the time, I can't even think of one exception. I'm sure there is, but they're not hypoglycemic. They just think that they're having sugar withdrawals, guys. You're having carbohydrate withdrawals. That's the shakiness. That's the lightheadedness. It's a drug withdrawal. If you want to read more about the effects of sugar, just Google sugar withdrawal on Google. I don't know why I said that. Just search for Google. Gosh darn it. Search for sugar withdrawal symptoms, and they're wicked. Sugar is more addictive than heroin and cocaine. It's very hard to kick the habit, but once you kick it, you'll never go back. I promise. So guys, we're going to jump off, but again, the Epic 5, hydrate, right foods, movement, stress management, and sleep. So let's cover these. Hydration, we'll cover this more so, but most women around 3 liters a day, most men around 4 liters a day. If you wanted to up that 3 to 4 liters for women, 4 to 5 liters for men, I think that's a good way to do it. I'm on my 3rd liter of the day right now. I'm a little late. Usually this 3rd liter is already gone by about 1 o'clock, but it's 1:30 Central, so I'm a little bit behind. So there's that. Diet, I've given you the jumping off point. I've even given you an outline, a strategy. We will be kicking off a group quote 21-day detox, but really it's just a dedication to the Epic 5-plan diet in January. I'll be leading you up more to that. And also for diet, go back and watch the October series that we have on our YouTube channel that I did with our health coach, Natalie, where we had the super detox. We have I think we have something like 7 hours of videos or something like that in that series and some handouts. So make sure to go take advantage of that. You know, for movement, Dan and I, and our another one of our coaches, our lead health coach, Dan, senior health coach, lead health coach. I'm not sure what his title is, but Dan's been with us the longest and he's awesome. All of our coaches are awesome. He and I last month did movement. We talked about movement Monday through Friday on the second week of the month. That's on the YouTube channel, that series. Natalie put that together for us there as well. So watch that, learn more about movement. Again, stress, Rachel and I, well, Rachel mostly, are going to be talking about it next week. And then sleep, I'm sure that in January, that will be what we'll talk about because we haven't got there, or it will be hydration. And then we're just going to keep cycling this, guys. And every single month, second week of the month, Monday through Friday, unless there's personal stuff, we're going to just keep coming back to it. But guys, listen, for this group, what I'm going to ask is that, again, we keep the politics out of it, please. We keep sales out of it. You know, I get it that, listen, I love Young Living and doTERRA as well. We are members of both. I would never sell it in this group ever. Okay. So please keep sales out. Also, you know, if you're a provider, just remember, and even if you're not a provider, just remember that if you feel like you're giving medical advice, like, oh, you have this, you should do this. I want you guys to know that you are entering into the practice of medicine, even if you're just trying to help, right? So make sure that you word things correctly. I'm going to help you guys legally so nobody gets in trouble. And we try to police this, but I've noticed it a little bit since the group has grown. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. It's okay to say, hey, you know what worked for me? This is what I did and it worked for me. That's a good way to start a sentence. This is what I did and this is what worked for me, right? Talk, whatever it is. Make sure, and then at the end, make sure to talk to your personal doctor about it and see if that might work for you. Boy, look at you. You were able to give advice, yay. And you were able to avoid practicing medicine without a license. And if you do have a license, you were able to give advice without entering into an implied contract with a patient, right? And because if you're practicing without, if somebody followed the advice that you give and you're not a provider and something bad happened, right? Maybe they really needed to talk to a doctor and something else was going on. That could be considered delay of care, right? And that is grounds for, you know, a felony, practicing medicine without a license. I mean, it could be very dangerous, especially if somebody died or got injured. Same thing, again, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to talk about the legalities of it all. Same thing if you are a provider and you're like, well, you know, I'm a doctor and I know this stuff. So, you know, this is what we do and this is what you should do. And you don't know the case. You now have an implied contract with that patient now, that person. And if you don't follow up with it and something happens to them, it's malpractice. It's direct dereliction of duty. And my doctors know what I'm talking about. So guys, use your language carefully. Please share. This group, you can share anything, right? We do moderate it. If we feel that you've shared something that's inaccurate, out of love, we're going to say, hey, you know what? That is a common belief, but here's some studies of why this is inaccurate. And this is actually where it came from. And this is why you think that, but this is really what you need to know. We get to do that because this is our group. And I want you guys to share. And I'm saying this out of tough love. I got a little worried. I saw a couple of people swooping in, trying to be experts and really implying that they were doctors, which they weren't, and really implying that, I mean, creating what's called a social contract with everybody in the group. And that is really, really dangerous for those people. So be careful. You know, I'm not the police. I'd hate for somebody to get turned in for something they didn't mean just by helping. So it's not a scary thing to like, don't share anything, please share, but use those words. Hey, this is what worked for me. Or, hey, I read Dr. Ben Lynch's book, you know, and he said this, and then end it with, talk to your personal doctor and see if that would be what you need. Then you're absolved. Okay. So I just want to help you guys with that. I wanted to quickly, before I run out of time, tell you about the offer that we made our other clients, our private clients. We do something called a functional medicine health assessment, where we are literally digging in really, really, really deeply And, we're running just about every lab test known to man that you could imagine, except for genetics and neurotransmitters. But I mean, we are looking at leaky gut, food sensitivities. I can't remember, I think heavy metals. We are looking at metabolism, hormones, nutrients, digestion, absorption, microbiome, organ health, I'm sure, adrenals, thyroids, immune system. Gosh, the list goes on and on. And because we've been in practice for a little over 20 years in 2020, Rachel, my far better half, was somehow able to make this 20% off. Now, I want you guys to understand that the labs that I just mentioned, if you went out and just got those ordered, just went out and ordered them yourself, I'll scare you with the number. It's like, I don't know, $10,000, $11,000 in laboratory work. I want you to know that we have a wholesale account with labs around the country, some around the world, at least in North America. We're working on Europe. It's been more of a challenge than I wanted it to be. But we have clients over in Europe, so I got to figure it out. But nonetheless, we get a wholesale account anyway, where we're already getting like, I don't know, 60, 70% off. I don't know if that's about right, but that's about right. And then Rachel was able to discount that down even 20% lower. So again, it's a phenomenal, I mean, it is the root. It's the lab test that you've been looking for to figure out what your root causes are. We get all those done. You get a written, very detailed, highly detailed, personalized report that this is what's going on with your body. And then you get to meet with one of our health coaches to talk about it. And again, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you guys take advantage of that. I do believe that an email went out earlier today. If you're on this call, we probably have your email. You probably got it. And I think that the subject line is, here's the health information that you requested. I don't know why it says that. That's just what it does. And then I think that right underneath that, it says, this email can change your life, right? Take advantage of it, guys. That's how we're going to be able to personalize care and take your health to the next level. And again, you don't have to do that. Again, today, what I wanted to say is, rather than complicating it, you can also just go and download the diet shopping list and just follow along with the 14-day plan that's outlined there for you. That's very similar to what we do with our private clients, although we personalize it with all sorts of other things, right? So again, I wanted to just make sure that we were all connected in that way. There we are, perfect. That we're all connected in that way, and that you guys knew that special discount was there. And again, it's just celebrating 20 years of practice. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, take advantage of it. If you want to know more about it or talk with us, just reach out. But again, if it sounds like what you're looking for, and most of you guys came to this group because you're still struggling and you're looking for answers, I'm telling you guys that labs are the quickest way to get the answers. Now, here's the question that a lot of you guys have. What happens after I get the labs done, right? Then what? I'll tell you what, most of you guys decide to stay our patients, right? But you don't have to. You can take your lab report and take it to your other doctors and have them work through it with you. That's fine. You're going to have a meeting with one of our coaches. They'll outline most of it. It's fairly self-explanatory. Here's what we found. Here's what it means. Here's what to do. Here's how long to do it. Here's when you need to get retested, right? And we tell you that point by point by point by point all along the way. We make it really easy. Most of the time, though, what you'll find is that your general practitioners are just not trained at this high level of medicine, especially high level of internal medicine. Even your specialists are not trained in it. And so most people just want to keep working with us. And again, we have very, 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 very low monthly subscriptions to be a member of our private client group. So again, all of that's optional, but I know a lot of you guys have been asking for it. So that special is going on till the end of this month. To celebrate, a little over 20 years of practice in 2020. So take advantage of it. But otherwise, guys, Epic 5 diet. Remember what it is: vegetables, right? But no grains, no legumes, no lectins. That also includes, I'll say, healthy fats. There's some nuts and seeds that are on there in addition to animal type products. But again, with healthy fats, no dairy, no eggs unless you know about it, right? And certainly not a whole lot of nuts and seeds, that are included, because most nuts and seeds have lectins, again, plant poisons that are going to trigger autoimmunity. Let's see, proteins, again, berries for your sweet. I'm having a struggle here, as you guys can see. Acids to help stimulate digestion, lemon juice, lime juice, apple cider vinegar, fermented foods, fiber, and then mainly water to drink. And we went over that hydration. So guys, I hope that helped clear some things up. I also want you guys to know, I didn't mean to like be all scary, like don't give advice. Give advice. That's awesome. That's what this group is for. Just be careful with the way that you deliver the advice. Don't sound like the expert. Let us be the experts. Let us be the experts, because this is our group and we're willing to shoulder that burden. I would hate to see any of you guys get in trouble for just trying to help. And then we didn't see that you posted it and someone followed some advice that was really bad advice. And then the next thing you know, you're getting sued because you told somebody to go get a B12 injection, right? And they had some wicked response. So just always word things. This is just general advice anyway. I'm part attorney as well. I'm kidding, I'm not. But in functional medicine, you have to learn legalities very quickly. Just word it, hey, this helped me, or I read that this can help. Here's what it is. And then why don't you talk to your personal doctor about whether or not that works? Now, if I'm your personal doctor, just private message me. You guys that are my private clients know how to get a hold of me directly. 24/7. Same thing with all of our Epic team. We're available 24/7 to our private clients. So again, and then if you want to take advantage of that special offer, look for it in the email. If you didn't get it, look in your junk mail folder. And if you really didn't get it, if you just want to speed up the process, again, just private message or comment below on the Facebook. Just say, comment below on the Facebook. See, that's my Facebook camera. And just say, hey, I want to take advantage of that offer. And then we can drop the link in there. And if Rachel's watching right now, she might even be able to drop the link in there anyway. So at any rate, guys, I hope that helped. I love you guys so much. That's my Los Angeles call. So that was perfect timing. I love you guys so much. This group is the group for truth of health, the care of health, and how we're all going to take back our health, our happiness, and our life. I love you guys. Have a great week. I'll see you many times before next week, but I'll see you next week too. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.